So, quick question. Why did it take you so long to do this movie? Mario came out back in April, and yet you've done The Flash, Barbie, amongst a few others that came out after Mario. So, what gives?
Shockingly, this sequence includes an on-brand race cart, but not a minion saying, "Banana!" How do you miss this opportunity?
Banana!
Encouraging a Mario movie to have more minions, even though minions already have more than enough screen time elsewhere.
No, you keep hitting the box to get all the loot. Don't just stop. 48 seconds of logos.
One sin is saying that Mario should have kept going with getting more loot from the box, and then the next sin criticizes the length of the logos. The comedy writes itself.
Feels like the giant flying lava rock monster 5 times the size of a city made of ice is having a pretty easy time destroying the city made of ice. And I'm wondering how much of the victory is due to the nature of fire and ice to disagree, and how much is just the sheer size of this fucking thing, which they clearly had ready to attack 5 years ago, but just kept growing it larger and larger, like me building a navy in a game of Civ 5. Civ 6.
Sure. But one sin for saying that it destroys the city when that's not true at all, and Bowser burns it himself later in this same scene.
This is not how volcanoes work.
Right off the bat, we have a taking physics seriously crap in a movie based on a freaking video game. He will do this a lot, so I'm gonna add 10 sins every time he does it.
I finally found it!
But do you know that it only lasts 30 seconds?
Even if it does, it's still incredibly useful to destroy one's enemy. I mean, Mario and Luigi touch it at the very end of the movie, and they defeat Bowser and his entire army single-handedly in under 30 seconds. Not to mention, Bowser isn't planning to use it directly. He needs it so he can marry Peach.
This website is real, and it boasts a chat feature, which of course I clicked on. I went with the 20 questions option and discovered that these guys are bragging about having a measly 64 clients. That is barely 5 clients a month for an entire year. Even more upsetting is their claim to need to hire a dispatcher to help field their non-stop calls. They are liars with terrible business sense.
And yet, you are giving this sin to the movie.
Our mom called and she said, "Oh boys, that's the best commercial I've ever seen." And I said, "Thank you very much, Mother. We're very proud of it."
Charlie Day, not even trying to alter or disguise his voice, naturally ends up sounding exactly like Charlie Day, and it's distracting.
Not that much. I mean, we all expected that from Chris Pratt voicing Mario, and he sounds fine. Not to mention, I think Charlie Day was perfect for voicing Luigi.
I am unreasonably annoyed at Luigi's ability to use a touchscreen while wearing gloves.
At least you admit that you're unreasonably annoyed, because you shouldn't be annoyed at all. I myself own gloves that could touch phone screens no problem, so this is sitting real life basically.
Because it's a Mario movie and they can't take a car and they have to run and there are suddenly lots of obstacles for them to jump or dive to avoid, and god damn it,
Sinning a Mario movie for being a Mario movie. Seriously, this is like sitting Top Gun for flying jets.
having a secret handshake for celebrating after fixing the most basic of plumbing problems. He literally tightened a pipe fixture. That's all he did. Celebrate more important shit, you dweebs.
It was also the very first plumbing problem they ever fixed. I think that calls for some celebration.
That's right, kids. The first big action sequence of your happy movie about a beloved video game character hinges on a beloved family pet turning into a raging murder machine.
Yep, and it's fantastic.
This is not how pipes work.
I think you're nuts.
And to really get the audience excited for this lighthearted movie, let's watch a parent shit all over their child's dream. Ah, yes. Nothing like it.
I am honestly confused by this sin. Are you saying because this is a lighthearted movie that it shouldn't have some serious scenes? This scene is meant to build up Mario's rocky relationship with his parents and how they think he's wasting his life, which leads to him congratulating him when he saves the world later. Don't tell me you're saying this movie shouldn't have some depth.
Neither of these two appear to have any difficulty shimmying across a dirty pipe, despite one being weighed down by tools and both have no grip on their beefy gloved hands. That's right. If not for being incredibly stupid and hanging on an old pipe that happens to fall into an old flimsy brick wall, we would have no movie.
Okay, cool. So, what's the problem here?
Listen, if this is how fucking great it looked when Mario pipe warped between worlds and we never got to see it until now, I'm really upset.
Sinning something you like rather than removing a sin.
Come on, Mario! Our big adventure begins now!
Waiting 20 goddamn minutes to start the adventure that we came here for.
You must have a really short attention span then. I mean, this movie is loved by freaking children, and 20 minutes didn't feel that long to them.
Luigi lands in a nightmare and opts for exploring the area and attempting to survive the wild, rather than, I don't know, give one shot at crawling back through the fucking pipe?
You are saying this to a guy who has just been thrown into a world he has never been in before and is separated from his brother. Why do you think he'll be thinking clearly here?
Undead hench turtles.
Sinning dry bones.
I guess having them do jumps makes sense, but why do the floating platforms have to be real in this movie? Is it because you hate physics?
No, it's because the movie is aware that this is a fictional world that has its own rules and real world physics don't always matter. This is based off of a video game where a guy eats a mushroom and grows big for Pete's sake, but this is the most unbelievable thing to you.
I'm going to convince the Great Kong Army to help us.
But what if you don't? I mean, ultimately she doesn't.
And they still help anyway, so this point is moot.
Their mad king doesn't make alliances. The Kongs will never agree.
I can convince him. I'll leave for the Jungle Kingdom in the morning.
This sounds like the worst plan ever.
Oh, why is that? We're not going to hear the explanation, aren't we?
You're very, very small.
I see not even the creators of Mario movies can avoid reaching for the low-hanging rotten plot fruit that is using appearances as slander.
Dude, people still use this insult in real life now. What is the issue?
Let's see what you're made of.
Don't you want to bring any of these guards with helmets and spear axes with you on your journey to the Jungle Kingdom?
She's heading to the training simulation to see how good Mario is. Why are you bringing this up in this context?
That was amazing.
It was not.
This is referring to Peach doing the obstacle course, and all I have to say is that...
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
How am I supposed to do that?
With the power-ups. They give us special abilities.
Right, but Peach's run didn't start off with a power-up, so...
You do realize Peach has done this course multiple times, and she's helping someone who's never done it before, right? Right?
Mario does not immediately check the size of his package in this scene.
A lame sexual joke over a kid's movie.
I can't play the music, but why didn't the band stop playing after Bowser started addressing the troops? That's disrespectful.
I mean, they all can still hear him, so it's not like it's too loud or anything. What is the point of this sin?
Of course she hates me. But that makes me love her all the more.
Don't get more attached to the person that wants nothing to do with you. Redirect that obsession to the only relationship that matters when all else fails, which is with your imagination and your dominant hand.
I'm not gonna let the rest of this sin play, because not only does it go on for too long, Jeremy is forgetting that he is talking about Bowser. You know, the villain. He is seriously trying to argue why a villain is wrong, as if villains being wrong isn't the point.
This movie makes Luigi into the damsel in distress, and makes the princess into Morpheus and Mario into Luigi.
That's called switching things up. In the original games, Mario is chasing after Peach, a person he had never met before. In this movie, the writers want to make it more personal, so Luigi, Mario's brother, is captured instead, making it more powerful for Mario to want to save him. Dude, don't you always sin movies for doing the same thing? Shouldn't you remove a sin from the movie for doing something differently?
So she really didn't bring any of the armed guards with her? I was kind of joking earlier.
Double dipping.
It is my understanding that everyone loves the Peach song that Bowser sings, and that is just their latent love of Jack Black overpowering their musical tastes.
Or, and hear me out because I'm about to explain a complicated topic, humans have different tastes, and you simply do not like this song while other people do.
Not sure if you know who I am, but I'm about to marry a princess and rule the world.
Overconfidence.
Which is literally a flaw many villains have, and that's why they lose. Sending a common movie trope, even though it works.
Okay, but how do you feed prisoners in a place like this? Or is that the point, that they are only here for as long as it takes for them to starve?
I mean, Bowser plans to sacrifice them to please Peach, so why would he be worried about feeding them?
Oh, he makes me laugh. You want my army so badly? Defeat my son? And the
Kong lore just went from straight refusal to, well, this little guy is humorous, so I'll let you have my army if he beats my son for no reason. There's nothing for the Kongs to gain here.
Well, that's a straight up lie. Cranky Kong wants Mario to fight his son because he believes Mario has no chance in winning, so it'll be free entertainment for his people. It's literally that simple. Are you seriously not able to understand a children's film?
Also, his son will be Donkey, and this is just a parade of scenes of video games containing Mario, and it should honestly be f***ing ashamed at how much money it made because it's some lazy-ass f***ing tripe.
So let me get this straight. You're sending a Mario movie for having characters from the Mario games. And this is lazy how?
Mario survives everything that happens to him in the DK Gauntlet, and we are never told how or why his human body can withstand this much of a beating. So, due to the catsuit, Mario somehow kicks Donkey's ass, and I liked it better when Donkey just threw barrels from up above and Mario had to jump or dodge the barrels. If we're gonna do movie scenes ripped from video games, why didn't we do the barrels?
You literally just showed Donkey Kong throwing barrels at Mario, which is then referencing that game.
We're gonna need carts!
Oh, me, we're doing another video game.
Yep, because Mario Kart slaps.
As AC/DC's Thunderstruck plays and they get their custom carts made, I feel it's important to point out that absolutely none of this is meaningful to me or even interesting, let alone exciting. So if you enjoy this, just take me off your Christmas card list because we are not compatible people.
Well, here's this argument again. I guess you're on the critics' side where you can't enjoy this movie because it just doesn't work for you. However, this movie was not made for you or the critics. It was made for the fans of Mario who played the games and love seeing these characters on the big screen. This is not a legitimate sin. This is your opinion, which is not valid.
Thankfully for Mario and the other racers, the Bifrost is actually part of this race course.
That is Rainbow Road.
Mario gets blown up and magically lands on another vehicle in the race so he can continue in the competition.
Narration.
That is how you princess!
By not looking where you were driving? Because she's not looking where she's driving.
I see you're willing to lie about something pretty much everyone has seen. This is what Toad was talking about when he said this.
I'm too cute to die! That is how you princess!
No, princess. I stole this star for us.
Doing stupid and possibly illegal shit because you think you're in love with someone that you're actually not remotely compatible with because you just have a lusty crush from a distance and don't even know that person in the slightest. Yes, this sin is for college me.
And this should have made you realize you should have deleted that previous sin where you claimed that Bowser was planning to use the star, but nope. You don't care enough to be consistent, do you?
Where you will all be ritualistically sacrificed!
Finally, mercy.
I see someone saw James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie, specifically Polka Dot Man.
I've seen the Suicide Squad, you know. How is this anything like that movie in the slightest? I'm honestly lost on how you came to this conclusion.
She just turned into Elsa from Frozen to fight Bowser's fire, and that is copyright infringement.
That is an ice flower, and just doing a little research, this flower has existed since 1992. If anything, Frozen ripped this off.
I think this might be the most average movie ever made. I guess kids today would call it mid. Voice work, average. Story, average. Animation, pretty good actually, but wasted. Action, average. Its biggest offense is not being daring enough to have a biggest offense. Thankfully, it only made $1 billion. Wait, what? Is that shit for real?
Agree that all of this is average, except the action. The action scenes in this movie are flipping fantastic. What are you talking about? That is why this movie made over $1 billion.
This is like the end of SpiderMan Homecoming. It's dark yet colorful, it's happening in the air, and I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, a scene where characters get sucked into another world is exactly like SpiderMan Homecoming. Yeah, I see the connection.
You ruined my wedding!
So Bowser has now forgotten about the Power Star he just stopped Mario from getting, and that will definitely be important later when they are fighting, and maybe Mario or Luigi stumbles on it and gets invincible and wins the day. That will be fulfilling for stupid people and children. Stupid children.
This is Bowser being emotionally distracted because he believes Mario ruined his wedding. That's a flaw of the character, not the movie itself.
Nothing can hurt us as long as we're together.
You guys continue to misunderstand, misuse, and mistake this phrase for some kind of applicable wisdom, when in fact, you went down the tube into this universe together, right before getting separated. I hate you!
Well, that's because Mario wanted to go down there and forced Luigi to go with him. Luigi didn't want to, and as a result, the brothers got separated. Now the two are one and agree to fight together.
Because they touched it at the same time, they both get the powers of the wait. That isn't fair at all. This movie about a video game about New York City plumbers sucked into an alternate dimension populated by mushrooms and turtles isn't following the rules.
You literally just said it. They touched it together, and now they both have the powers. How is that not good enough for you?
Movie thinks it needs a second post-credit scene to entice us to watch a second movie with a beloved character when we know Mario will only sacrifice them to make a jump.
Okay, that's a decent joke. You know what? Let's end this video with a sin removal. Why not?
Next time, baby.